Good morning, everyone. Alright, today I'm going for a group cycle. It's very exciting because I've never been on a group cycle before. Not a proper one, just the sportive that I did. So yeah, found a local cycling group. I'm going to see if it's any good. Why am I always running late? Just habit, I guess, at this point. Alright, need the bike. I think I've got everything. Got the shoes, that's always a big thing. You don't want to forget the shoes. Not sure about cycling in the wet. And this is not going to be a dry one. Right, let's see if we can find this place. Oh, better take the key out of my back pocket. And I found the place. Coffee stop, that's why I like cycling. That and the flapjacks. That was an awesome ride, really enjoyed that. So thanks very much everyone. It's just the group ride, fantastic, with coffee and sausage roll and just yummy. Now the only slight problem is I thought I wouldn't have an awful lot of time, so you know, I might have pushed a little bit hard on the way to sort of getting back. Now that I'm back in the car and I've changed and sorted myself out and got a fresh coffee for the journey, I realised that if I was to leave now, I'm going to be about an hour and 10 minutes too early to pick up Jasper from school. So that's going to give me plenty of time to talk to you about the subject of today's vlog post. The only slight problem is I don't know what the subject of today's vlog post is. Right, I'm going to stop waffling, get driving, go and sit in the school car park and work out what I'm going to do from there. That sounds like a plan. So here I am at school. I've still got 30 plus minutes to wait before I can pick Jasper up. So that's fine. I guess I'll talk to you guys. I had an awesome ride today, really enjoyed it. Oh, this is the first time I've actually been out in a proper group. So other than when I went on the Sportive, which was a bit, I mean that wasn't really a group, there were other riders around, but I didn't arrive with them and yeah, it just wasn't quite the same. This was awesome. Very much looking forward to going out again in the future. I went out with the category B lot today, which was cool, you know, but I think I probably will go for a slightly faster group in the future, because otherwise I'm just a liability whenever I go on the front, and I don't mean to be. I need to get a rear view mirror so I can see if people are still back there. The problem is I enjoy going fast, which is ironic because when I drive I don't go fast at all. I drive quite slowly and sedately, but on the bike I just like to pound along. Don't ask me why. Anything over 20 miles is cool, anything over 30 and we're really cooking. Yeah, so that was awesome. I highly recommend this cycling malarkey. I've only been doing it for like, what am I in now, like 4 months, and it is awesome. I cannot believe it's taken me this long to realise that I can just have guilt-free coffee and cakes if I cycle. Even better than EVs, because EVs are great for coffee and cakes because, you know, obviously you have to charge the car nice and regularly. The problem is you don't feel like you've earned them quite as much. It's always a sort of a slight, oh, this probably isn't so good for my waistline kind of thing. But with cycling, none of those worries. Yeah, so I'm basically just buzzing, and all I can really think about at the moment is how awesome cycling is, which is not conducive to me producing a good video, or at least not a good video about EVs. Although something that I have noticed just today is how far EVs have come along. I've seen Teslas beyond count, both while I was cycling and driving, and I've seen there was actually a charger. I didn't even notice the charger when I pulled in and parked at the place where I sort of started the cycle. And yeah, and when I came back there was a nice Peugeot of some description. Actually didn't see what it was, but there was a Peugeot parked up charging, so it's good to see that the chargers are being used. I'm pleased I didn't use it, because I wouldn't have needed to use it anyway, and it would have stopped other people from using it, so that was handy. And yeah, I mean, it's just, there's definite progress being made with the whole transition to EVs, and a larger and larger number of cars are on the road powered by battery now. It really is quite, it's becoming quite a stark difference between this year and a few years ago, when EVs were still relatively rare. Now they're just everywhere, which is, you know, really, honestly, it's awesome, because whatever people say about the carbon footprint of EVs, I genuinely believe the truth is they are much better for the environment. Yeah, there are downsides, nothing is perfect, and this is a critical thing. The downsides with EVs are things that can be worked on. We can work on the recycling. We can work on making sure the electricity is generated from renewable sources. The problem with petrol and diesel engines is there isn't really much to work on. We've already made the engines as efficient as they can be. There's just nowhere further for that to go, really. I mean, I think the phrase I'm looking for here is diminishing returns. And with petrol and diesel engines, we're really there. It's just absolute slog for an ever decreasing amount of fuel efficiency improvement. Whereas with EVs, there's still quite a lot that can be done that would improve their carbon footprint and the environmental damage. And for one thing, recycling the batteries is a massive thing, and I'm quite convinced that in the next 5 to 10 years recycling of electric car batteries will become a mini industry in its own right, because hopefully it will be cheaper to get the raw materials for new batteries from old ones than it will be to dig them out of the ground. That's my hope, and I think it'll have to be that way once we get to sort of real proper sort of 80–90% of new cars sold are EVs. And I think, you know, the percentage of new EVs sold is increasing quite dramatically. I mean, I remember when it was like 1% of new cars were EVs, and now I think we're quite a long way beyond that now, at least in the UK. So that's, you know, that's awesome. There's still a bit of a charging gap, but you know, over time, I think I'm starting to believe that over time that's going to get fixed. In particular, I'm noticing that there are more sort of proper charging stations popping up that are not just for Teslas. And by proper charging stations, I mean ones that have banks of at least 4 or 6 chargers, high-speed chargers, CCS and CHAdeMO, preferably where you can pay with just a credit card if you want, just tap and go. That's the kind of thing that people need. I mean, my mum, she's been thinking about getting an EV for a very long time, and one of the things that holds her back is the faff to do with apps and, you know, different RFID cards and networks. She's not going to bother with any of that. She wants to, you know, she just wants to pull in, plug up, wave a card at it, go get a coffee, come back to the car and drive off like a Tesla driver. But not with a Tesla, because the problem for my mum with Teslas is none of them will fit in her garage in Hastings, which means she wouldn't have any charging in Hastings, which is a bit of a faff, because it means you have to make that special journey in order to actually get your car charged when we go down there, which is just, it's not the one. It's certainly not something my mum's going to want to do on a regular basis. So yeah, there we go. Great progress has been made. Great progress with cycling as well, actually, because there's no doubt about it, I am substantially quicker now on the bike than I was, you know, 2–3 months ago. I would say probably a mile or 2 an hour on average faster. Definitely, I'm sort of hitting about, okay, so I only did 17.5 miles an hour on this latest ride, but it was in a group, and you know, we were going at a reasonably steady pace most of the time. And yeah, and on my own I'll tend to do around 18, hopefully 18.5, depending on what the weather and the conditions are like. Obviously if you throw some massive great hills in there, then you know that's going to really damage my my average speed. Hills are good fun. It's good exercise for me. Yes, I wouldn't mind a bike with a power meter though. That might be a for the future kind of purchase, I think. Right, let's see, is it time to pick Jasper up yet? Yeah, more or less. I know what it's time for. It's time for the end of my really yummy flapjack that I saved for right now when I knew that I would have no energy, because my lunch so far has been a sausage roll and the other half of this flapjack. So yeah, I might need some extra food when we get home. Might even have a little bit of fast food today. It's a bit naughty of me, isn't it? It's good flapjack. We grabbed some supper on the way back. I know it's not exactly nutritious, but I didn't have any lunch and I'm starving hungry. And right after I finished talking to you guys when we were when I was picking Jasper up, I saw a tweet from Elon Musk about apparently working with Doge to try and sort of improve the transactions of their Dogecoin, which has led to a sort of 10-15% increase in the price for these particular cryptocurrencies. I'm sure Elon Musk needs to be careful with all this cryptocurrency stuff, because it's very close to, you know, market manipulation, in my opinion. So I hope you've all enjoyed today's vlog post. If you have, remember to leave a like and share and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you don't already. And I will see you all in the next episode of the vlog. Bye.